Good evening from Sodexo Field here in Rindge, New Hampshire for some Division II women's college soccer here on the Raven Sports Network on FloCollege and the NE10 now. I'm Don Montoya alongside my color partner in crime, Joe McLaughlin. Now this is a very star-studded matchup here at Sodexo Field today. We have the number 19 ranked Florida Tech Panthers traveling all the way up here to New England to face the Franklin Pierce Ravens, who are currently sitting at 24th with a 6-1-1 record. Now the Ravens have had 3 separate stretches where they've won 3 games in a row, and they've done the same thing they did all season long last year, which is continue to score goals. Even with a new goalie in Jess LaCroix, the Ravens have had success, and that player core from Finland just keeps them intact. Jenny Hutunen is another example of that, who has the 5th most shots in the NE10. But what's it going to take for the Ravens to face a really tough opponent here in the Panthers today?
You mentioned it, Dom. This is a star-studded matchup on both sides. I mean, this was the game that everyone circled on their calendar coming into this year because it was such a random matchup. These two teams would only really face off against each other in a Final Four scenario, and you can tell Matt Johnson really put this one on the schedule for the Ravens as a litmus test to see where they fit in the whole scheme of Division II. Florida Tech coming off a huge win, 5-0 against their division rivals in the Sunshine Conference. They had 2 multi-goal scorers, Rio Naganawa being one of them. But you mentioned the Ravens doing a good job scoring goals this season. Jenny Hutunen, again, being a great playmaker. Mackenzie Sheen in the last home game that was here against Pace had 2 goals, both of them in the match. But the Ravens are coming off of an uncharacteristic 1-1 tie against Bridgeport. They've had a couple of these games. The loss to Malloy was uncharacteristic, and this tie against Bridgeport has been uncharacteristic as well. But other than that, when they've won, Dom, they've won dominantly. Their offense really loves to create chances, and I expect to see some of that tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, they opened up with 7-0 victories, 6-0, 5-0, one of them being home here at Sodexo Field, but this is only their 3rd match on home soil, so of course being on the road for so long, it definitely depletes your energy as a team. Maybe that's why that tie to Bridgeport came to be, but the Ravens will continue to man behind Jess LaCroix, who's let up the fewest shots in the NE10, but there's also just some really good defenders in that court for the Ravens that have always stuck around. Pena Eklund isn't one of those examples, along with Ruby Conroy. They really get it done on the back line so that LaCroix doesn't have to face many shots.
Yeah, and that's been a really big part. Breton being a Defensive Player of the Week as well. Just really solid back line that's really lighten up the load for Jess LaCroix, but she's going to be challenged tonight against this Panthers team. But really, if you look at it, the Ravens, I think, are the team favored here solely because of home field advantage. Florida Tech, or the Florida Institute of Technology, rather, is a 21-hour drive from here, but they took the flight over 3 hours from Florida to here. So still a long distance to travel. It's not really routine to be on the road this far away from home. So I expect there to be a little bit of rust from this Panthers team, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be formidable.
Absolutely, and they've been led by a lot of their veterans all season long. You look at players like Sarah Bacciati. Caitlin Sinkler's done a great job in 9 games at net for this team as well, and both these teams obviously made NCAA Division II runs last year. The Ravens came up short at the Final Four against the eventual national champs, Cali State Paloma, and the same for the Florida Tech, who went down in the second round. But regardless, these teams are headlined by their veterans, and as for the Panthers, they're looking at a lot of those players. You mentioned Rio Nagawa at mid, but they also have other really solid goal scorers. The leader of the team, of course, in Lauren Wood. And then you have Nora Oldmark, who has been one of the best at her game as well. And as for the Ravens, who are you looking to see step up today for the Ravens who may have a huge impact on this game?
I mean, we already talked about Jenny Huuttinen, but Claudia Pierce is going to be huge for the Ravens. Only a couple goals this season so far, which is a little low from her standards of being an All-American last year in 2024, but I expect her to really continue to put on the pressure against this Panthers defense tonight. She's done a phenomenal job of generating shots, generating opportunities, and if she doesn't bury it, someone else near her will.
Absolutely. Well, just shortly, you'll see us here for the national anthem, the announcement of the starters here at Sodexo. It's a beautiful night here in Rindge, New Hampshire. Stick around for some more D2 women's college soccer on the Raven Sports Network on the NE10 now in FloCollege. Welcome back here. Starters are just going to be underway in just a short couple minutes here in Rindge, New Hampshire. Don Montoya alongside Joe McLaughlin. We mentioned in that pregame, this is a very star-studded matchup between two top 25 teams at the Division II level. And when you look at the Florida Tech Panthers coming in 5-1-3, maybe a little bit underwhelming to them. They've had 3 ties, 1-1, but they've also went out against really good opponents and have showed their moxie. The University of Montevideo, for example, had received votes earlier this season along with that tie against Nova Southeastern. They tied Embry-Riddle, a fellow SSC member, in a 1-1 match. They were ranked 19. So, of course, the Panthers have had a competition all year long, but it's definitely a different environment. You know, the environment in Florida is a lot different. So chillier temperatures here in Rindge, New Hampshire. And, of course, the Ravens are looking for as many home matches as they can. They're going to capitalize it, being only their 3rd home match here in match number 9 of the season.
Yeah, you mentioned the fact that the Panthers have had a pretty tough schedule. I mean, number 2 in the country, Columbus State, they lost that one 3-0, but still being able to play them in Georgia was huge. And then Montevideo, the team that eliminated them last year in the 2nd round, they get their revenge with the 2-1 win. The Nova Southeastern, you mentioned, that was a tie, number 19th ranked at the time, Embry-Riddle, where they tied 1-1. Now they sit as the number 19 bit overall after defeating St. Leo 5-0 in a dominant win in SSC play. But like you said, it's a different environment here in New Hampshire. Granted, it's a warmer day than what it usually would be at this time of year, but as that sun begins to set, that's when that temperature is going to drop too, and we're going to really see how the Panthers adjust to that, unfamiliar to them.
Absolutely. We just mentioned a dominant win against St. Leo, 5-0. Rio Naganawa had a really stout game with multiple goals, but you see a lot of these players with a lot of shots on goal for Florida Tech. Of course, I mentioned Sarah Bacciati in that pregame as well. Alice Mottershed was another big factor in that game as well. But for the Ravens, you know, they have had 3 separate stints where they've looked dominant on the road. AIC, Bentley, and Pace, all conference opponents that they were able to handily beat. And it took them 3 matches to give up their first goal of the season in that 3-1 loss.
She is assisted by Scott Wilson and Olivia Simmons.
Yeah, we talked about dominant performances. Rio Naganawa and Mia Otero, both with 2 goals in that game against St. Leo. Rebecca Storr with the 5th goal. Yeah, those are just a few of the goal scorers for this Panthers team. And as Jess LaCroix takes the field as a starter, she's really going to be tested tonight. This is really going to see how she could do against a ranked opponent, what the Ravens would be seeing in tournament play later on in the season.
Absolutely. They definitely plan on going back to the NCAA tournament round, especially going back to the Final Four would be huge for this program. You know, a lot of pieces left after last season. One of the big names, of course, was defender Aino Martikainen, but a lot of that goal-scoring core is still here. Claudia Pierce is one of them, of course, as they just announced her an All-American. And they had some help from a couple of grad student transfers. Mackenzie Sheen has been one of those pieces who has looked really stout. And then McKenna McGuire just scored her third goal against Bridgeport in that tie matchup.
Yeah, and really for the Ravens, I'm really going to look at Mackenzie Sheen tonight. Why? Because she went to the Ravens, or went to Franklin Pierce here for the first 2 years of her collegiate career, and where did she transfer to? Barry University. And what conference is Barry in? The same one as Florida Tech's and the SSC. So she knows this team better than the Ravens do. And that will really help the Ravens here tonight with a little bit of experience from playing down south.
Absolutely. Starting rosters for each team have been announced. We'll take a quick break here for the national anthem. Stick around on the NE10 now in FloCollege.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we now ask that you please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome back here to some women's college soccer here on the NE10 Now and FloCollege. Game time just shortly here in Ringe. Of course, a big test for the Ravens as they go up against a seed ranked higher than them currently, the 5-1-3 Panthers, who play some really stout opponents in the SSC conference. Of course, Florida Tech, not really going to see many fans from them, I don't think, tonight. It's been a long journey for Florida Tech. They stay for a weekend here in New England to face not only the Franklin Pierce University Ravens, but Southern New Hampshire on Sunday. Ravens will also be back in action here Senior Day on Sunday against Assumption. But tonight's game is the Athletes Back Athletes game here at Franklin Pierce for the women's soccer team. You're going to see a lot of fellow athletes in attendance. One of the most highly attended events for any scheduled game, ABA game per year. So it's going to be fun to see the Ravens crowd get active tonight with such a really good opponent on the other side.
Yeah, you mentioned Athletes Back Athletes. It's when the crowd gets the liveliest, and I think every team that has one of these games really enjoys it because of the energy that comes from the crowd. But on my way in here, I got to actually see a couple of Florida Tech fans come all the way up here, make that 21-hour drive to see their players play. So dedicated fans on the Panthers side of things, but then again, I think the Ravens crowd is going to overshadow that here tonight.
Absolutely. Each team in a huddle right now. The Panthers have already stepped on to Sodexo. As for Sinclair, it's the goalie matchup here between Sinclair and LaCroix. Sinclair hasn't started every single match here for the Panthers this season, but she remains a really solid goalie. Goals against average, just over 1 goal. And while she doesn't have many save opportunities, it goes to that back line of the Florida Tech Panthers for just doing a great job, and as well, like the Ravens defensive line at not making their goalie face a lot of shots. So it will be a sure thing that both goalies are going to be tested tonight, and whoever plays better definitely might lead their team to a victory.
Yeah, and really, for the Ravens, this is easily their toughest match of the season thus far. Before this, they've only given up 5 goals to their opponents all year. And now, tonight, they face a really tough opponent. Again, we talked about how Florida Tech ranked 19th in the country. But it really helps to be back at home here if you're the Ravens. This is going to be a good one, Dom.
Absolutely. Florida Tech came in with Lauren Wood, Rio Nagonawa, Mia Otero, Elise Modershed, Sarah Bacciati, Caitlin Sinkler, of course, in the net. You have Eleanor Blasternes as well, as the kick will go to Florida Tech's side. Ball will be passed upfield. Elise Modershed has it for now. Ravens will try to test. Florida Tech gives it to a Raven. Here's Eklund, clears it out, but will be received by Claudia Pierce. That one going at around the midfield mark. Some nice moves here for the Panthers. Modershed has it before it's stopped by a Raven, Bridget Moore. Up the gut, it'll be an immediate look for the Panthers as that one goes wide left. The shot taken there by Lauren Wood.
Right away, we're seeing Nagano getting involved. She was the intended target on that crossing pass, and immediately this back line is being tested. We saw Eklund get involved. We saw Moore get involved back there. Already this is going to be tougher than the other opponents the Ravens have faced in terms of backline pressure. We'll see how they break through.
LaCroix's kick goes back to the Panthers on the back line. Modershed looking upfield, goes past the boot of Pena Eklund before LaCroix will just roll it on over to a Raven on the far side. Of course, like we said, the sun is going to be a factor going down. The temperature is immediately going to drop. Claudia Pierce trying to break away in a 2-on-1, but Sinkler will be there to dive on the ball. So each goalie been tested so far.
Yeah, right away. Great for the Ravens to get Pierce involved. Just a great header. Looking for her along that far side. Just couldn't create enough room, and Sinkler gets the stop.
The far side. Ravens trying to win the header before that goes out. Be thrown in by a Panther. Looking in the far corner, it's going to roll. Eklund is there. She will try to clear it away for the Ravens. Goes back to Modershed on the Panthers' side. The Panthers will try to boot it to somebody, but Eklund with a really nice header. Over there's Ada Guerrer. Still with the ball. Passing it over to a Panther far side. Eklund continues to pressure the Panthers starters very well. Panthers trying to keep it away from the Ravens' attack. It goes to the back line. Ravens try to have it. There's Hootinen. It's being juggled away by Restrepo there on the Panthers' side. They will kick it over back to Sinkler. She will try to clear it out. There's an open Panther on the far side. Trying to get it to Mia Otero.
Right away, we're seeing this battle for the midfield. Throughout all the games that the Ravens have played so far this season, they've easily won that, and they've been in the offensive side of the field, but not so easy so far today. In fact, the Panthers really have been controlling the ball a little bit more.
Absolutely. Just under 4 minutes into this match, and the Panthers have had the ball go their way a lot. Be thrown into Falcao over on the Ravens side, but the defenders will be there for the Ravens. Now it'll try to go upfield. Trying to clear it out is Hootanen. On the far side, the Ravens will try to set up Claudia Pierce. It's kicked away, though. Lyneth Restrepo. See a lot of European representation on this Panthers team. Of course, the Ravens, a lot of players from Finland that round out the roster. A couple from the Netherlands. International play, always a huge factor. Because it gives you a lot of strategies and different perspectives on what kind of game you're playing here.
Yeah, you mentioned just different perspectives, different styles of the game. You know, on the Panthers side, Lauren Wood from England brings a little bit of English football down to Florida.
So Hootanen tried to have the ball. Ravens will maintain possession of it. Chasing it down is Bridget Moore. Get it kicked over to the Panthers side. It'll be thrown in by Modershed.
Moore trying to get it to Hootanen there, but couldn't hold back on that one. Just a little too much on the pass.
Nice little bicycle by Wood. Goes to the leg of Otero. Midfield, though, the Ravens have it. Olivia Crespo with the ball. She'll try to look for a pass downfield. Modershed will clear it away. Hootanen looking very stout on the midfield line. Jenna Delgado will kick it away. Now Eklund looks to the corner. Bridget Moore. Ravens trying to find themselves an opportunity here with Mackenzie Sheen, the former SSC member of Barry. Looking upfield. Excuse me, that was Bautista, who's at midfield. Goes to Bridget Moore. Looking for the pass. Hootanen could not handle it. Goes over her head. Bachati tries to clear it away, and she has a good look to do so.
Great shift there for the Ravens after giving up that crossing chance to Naganawa early on in that first possession. Ravens really did a great job of just translating that. Good crossing pass intended for Hootanen, but she couldn't get ahead on it.
Modershed receives the pass from Sinkler. Pressured by Sheen. That will go out on. Went out on a Panther, excuse me. Lauren Wood was the last to touch it. That one will be immediately cut off by a Panther in Rebecca Storr. Ravens will try to throw it in once again. Hootanen trying to juggle it over to a Ravens player. Keeps bouncing. Sheen had an opportunity. Crespo on the far side, but will roll way out of play. No Raven was there to cut it off.
I really like the style of play that Olivia Crespo brings to this Ravens offense. Just really aggressive, attacking the box, finding that loose ball, trying to get a leg on it. But a great defensive play by Florida Tech.
Here's a corner kick opportunity. It will be Crespo to kick for the Ravens. This one stopped by Sinkler, still in the air. The Panthers will kick it away for now. Hootanen going to try to win the 3-on-1. Still chasing the ball, but Modershed will clear it out.
That's great pressure from Hootanen, just trying to circle around the perimeter, find that opening lane. Worst case, it goes off a Panther, and you get another corner here.
Hootanen to kick, looking for the assist. Here's the opportunity. Goes through, and Sinkler once again is the first to get a hand on it. Lauren Wood has it now for the Panthers, trying to escape their own zone. Now it'll be a little breakaway here by Lauren Wood, trying to pass it upfield. Would think that one appeared to be offside. Ravens will maintain it now on the back line. Eklund skips it over. Bridget Moore trying to clear up midfield. Grace Martin was in the game there. Bautista. Eklund will pass it over. There's the boot play before it's intercepted by the Panthers. Great job by Bacciati to maintain it before the Ravens try to take it back. Sprinting downfield is a Raven. Trying to get it upfield. Claudia Pierce tries to keep it in for the Ravens, and that one will be marked out of play.
I mean, great effort again. The Ravens winning the midfield battle. They get the possession, and they force the Panthers on their heels. And, Don, we talked about that sun setting. It's really getting and sinking over the horizon now. Still pretty warm out for this time of year in New Hampshire, but I expect that temperature to start dropping.
Absolutely. Bratton's done a good job on the far side being able to clear the ball out for the Ravens. There will be a boot. Immediately there to stop it is Breton, but it'll go to a Panther. Here's Falcao. Now Modershed has it. Trying to set up Lauren Wood, but it's intercepted by the leg of Bridget Moore. She'll try to clear it away. Modershed is the first to get ahead on it. Guerrer gives it over to the back line. Restrepo. Went over to Bacciati. Now it'll go over to Rebecca Storr. Modershed, the midfielder. Trying to go back and forth with Lauren Moore. The Ravens intercept it for now. Grace Martin trying to get the ball back, but Lauren Wood will do the wise thing, kick it back to Sinkler. Over 10 minutes have gone here in half number one. Haven't seen many shots on goal by either side. It's been a battle between the defensive lines and those midfielders.
And then on that last possession, that was a great play from Mackenzie Sheen here on the near side. Just fighting with a couple of Panthers for that ball, and now the Ravens able to get a throw-in on it on the other side of the field.
So Eklund will march downfield, looking for Bridget Moore. That's a nice pass. Trying to work through Modershed, goes midfield. Claudia Pierce trying to battle through a tough exterior. Rebecca Storr ultimately gives it over to Bridget Moore before passing it away. Bridget Moore will throw it in for the Ravens, who tune in there to intercept. 2-on-1, getting cornered. Great job by the Panthers to squeak it out. Hutunen maintaining pressure though. Ravens trying to keep it in the Panthers zone. Here's Breton on the far side, or excuse me, Lindsay Price on the far side. And the Panthers do a good job of maintaining possession.
The Ravens might have gotten away with a foul. Lauren Wood got rocked right in the middle of the field. Went down for quite a bit.
And there's nobody there downfield. It goes into the Ravens zone, and Ravens have the opportunity to clear it. Breton will pass it over to Eklund. That'll be back to Breton. She will kick it over midfield. Eklund receives it on the back line once again. Now Bridget Moore has the space. Gives it to Eklund. Eklund will now charge upfield. Gives it to the open Raven. It's Mackenzie Sheen. Goes it over to Moore. Sheen trying to break away. Nice pass to Pierce. Goes back to Sheen. And it's ultimately kicked away by Rebecca Storr. Ravens, great job going back and forth to put it back in the Panther zone. Bridget Moore gets it back from Hutunen. Modershed kicks it over. Rebecca Storr. And she will try to clear away. Eklund will be there to chase it down. Beats Mia Otero to the ball. It'll be Samantha Breton. Clears it away. Sheen unable to handle it. Panthers will kick it back over to Breton over there. Now Bridget Moore will try to look for an open Raven on offense. Immediately stuffed, though, by Lauren Wood. A nice way to block it. Trying to escape away from Bridget Moore. Wood looking for some sort of Panther to find a breakaway. Lauren Wood looks outside. Now looks to Mia Otero upfield. LaCroix stops to dive it. Give possession back to the Ravens.
That's why Lauren Wood is a crucial part of this Panthers offense. Just does such a good job of taking her time, of being physical, and being able to create that separation. Makes the move when she needs to, and creates a chance for Otero in the middle.
Flag waved over there on the far side. A couple of players went down. Sarah Bacciati for the Panthers. And there was Samantha Breton over there on that side, or not Breton, Price.
That's going to be a foul against Price there for the Ravens. The Ravens playing a little bit physical here in this first half.
Panthers going to try to break away. The slide is immediately blown down by the refs. Not what the Ravens were looking for there. A free kick here for the Panthers after a slide kick knocks down a defender. Knocks down an offender. It was Lindsay Price who was charged with that one.
A free kick here. Opportunity for Florida Tech.
Modershed will be the one to kick. And that one will go right into the hands of LaCroix. Too much on it. On the kick from Modershed. Tried to tip it to a teammate, but it went into the hands of LaCroix. Save well executed. Eklund on that back line. Here's Hutunen. Going back and forth with her fellow Finnish teammate. Now Hutunen will clear it upfield. Claudia Pierce. It's kept away by Storr. Nice find of Modershed on that side. Now looking for Lauren Wood. Pena Eklund falls to the ground. Goes through the legs of Bautista, but Hutunen there for the Ravens to keep it within their lines. Hutunen makes some moves upfield. Bridget Moore now has the ball. Claudia Pierce with some room to work with. Going back to Storr after it was intercepted by Ada Gayer. And now Modershed will be the one to kick it away. Here's Breton. Hutunen with the ball, goes over back line. Price over to Eklund. There was a Panther in pursuit. Eleanor Blasternes is in pursuit there, but Lindsay Price ultimately has it for the Ravens. Eklund and Hutunen go back and forth. Tries to kick it upfield to Pierce. Nice find. Ravens back line will just keep on booting it away to wait for the open Raven. Now Price will move upfield. Good cut there by Grace Martin now. Looking far side. Olivia Crespo. Olivia Crespo trying to work the outside. Working away from Bacciati, and looks like it'll be last touched by Bacciati. Maybe in corner kick inbound for the Ravens. Or it will be actually thrown in by Lindsay Price on the far side. Just under 27 minutes to go in the first half. We haven't seen much here at Sodexo.
We haven't seen much scoring, but we've seen a lot of fights for possession, and it's really gone both ways. The Ravens being really physical, especially to Lauren Wood.
Here's Pierce trying to break away. The shot is stomped away by Rebecca Storr. Claudia Pierce had the opportunity, but a great job by Storr to keep it within limits for the Panthers.
Just as we say it, that's the first real chance for the Ravens. A good chance for Pierce, but didn't have the best angle to get that shot on net.
So now it'll be Hatunen for the corner. Opportunity for the Ravens. This time the Ravens will line up further outside of the goal area. But ultimately, Hooten and Crespo will go back and forth. That one goes off the back of Eleanor Blasternes.
Another opportunity for a corner, but it's a fantastic block by Blasternes. That play specifically was meant to get Hooten a shot.
Crespo going to Hooten this time. Gets chipped over to Guerrer. She tries to clear it away, but Caitlin Bautista there for the Ravens. Now it'll be Price. Trying to work away, goes to Moore. Eklund up midfield. Great ball handling there. Goes to Bridget Moore over there on the left side. Looking for an opportunity. Sinkler coming in before making the nice play to stop it. Grace Martin just got ahead on it, but Sinkler will boot it. Get past the Ravens. Now it's Lauren Wood for the opportunity. LaCroix coming out of net. That one's going to bring Lauren Wood down. LaCroix slides at a goal, and Lauren Wood goes down. The coaching staff for the Florida Tech Panthers are livid. They believe some type of yellow card should be called.
If not a penalty shot, that's what they're advocating for. And I can see why. It was a nasty collision to your best player as well, who created a great opportunity for herself, trying to get that shot off. And really for LaCroix, there wasn't really much else she could do other than take out Lauren Wood, or else that ball was destined to be in the back of the net.
So LaCroix will gift an opportunity over here for the Panthers. So they are looking at a penalty kick here.
I believe it's only going to be a free kick, but it might as well be. It might as well be a penalty kick by the distance.
So Bacciati, a clear opportunity for the Panthers, goes through the upright. Had an opportunity with the free kick so close to goal, but she overshoots it. Missed opportunity for the Panthers.
And when a free kick is that close, it almost pretty much is a penalty kick. And just the shot selection almost hitting that top right corner perfectly. Just a little too high. I mean, that was so close.
Batunin with the ball. Midfield for the Ravens. Gives it back to Eklund. Eklund will have to force it away over to Breton. Another grad student who came to the university was Sheen. She was from Bryant University, played at the D1 level for a couple of years. Great job by the Panthers to take it away. Lauren Wood. Pena Eklund there to block it with the legs. Lauren Wood gifts it over to Pierce, and now Ravens will kick it out of play. Modershed will come to throw in. Immediately gives it to Guerrer, back to Modershed. She'll go back line to Storr. Otero over to Blasterne. Now it'll be Rio Nagawa with the ball. Bacciati trying to find Modershed. Modershed has an opportunity to break away. One-on-one she goes, looking for the shot, and it's denied off the head of Pena Eklund. Squirts away. For Guerrer will try to set up the shot opportunity for Lauren Wood. trying to work on some Ravens defenders. Gets it out to Blasternes. Now the shot by Mia Otero is right into the hands of LaCroix. Ravens defense being pressured, but they have not given in just yet.
Yeah, just a great adjustment by the Ravens defense. You could see Wood was trying to create that separation in the box. She had the ball right where she wanted it, but just good coverage. They had nowhere to go with it but backwards. Had to get a centering pass and a chance, but LaCroix able to make an easy save.
It was one heck of a kick there by Bautista to try to give Pierce an opportunity. Forces the kick by Sinkler to get shanked over. So just like that, a good boot by LaCroix and some nice head work by Kayla Bautista gives the Ravens an opportunity close to net. Be headed up in the air. A nice kick there by Blasternes. Lauren Wood in heavy pursuit of Breton. Now Eklund will give it over to LaCroix. Boots it over to Breton once again. And now she'll give it the real boot. And Raven with the opportunity on the far side, it's Crespo. Trying the kick over to Claudia Pierce on that far side, but had nowhere to pass it to.
Crespo just taking one wrong step. Kind of awkwardly tried to shoot that toward the net. It was either a shot or a centering pass. But either way, it had too much on it toward that left side.
The Panthers going to swap in a couple players. In come two mid, Santiago and Oxley, along with Posner on the defensive line. Quick throw and opportunity for the Ravens, far side. Crespo threw it in, but will be taken away by the Panthers. That one will be gifted over to the Ravens. We'll say a Raven leg touched it last.
Really, this game has gone back and forth with scoring chances, as you would expect with two ranked teams like this. Really, just great jobs from both defenses tonight, being able to adjust and really halt any chance of either team scoring thus far.
So Ravens kick it over to the far side. Pierce trying to win the battle against Bacciati. Now it'll be Bautista and intercept at midfield. Hutunen, the shot on goal, that one wide right of the goal.
And I like the shot there from Hutunen, being surrounded, just get it off. You had the range to get it there, just shot it too far right.
Here's Caitlin Sinkler. She'll be ready to boot it away. Midfield, Eklund gets the head on it. That'll be brought down by Price. Pierce looked for the opportunity before it was stopped by a Panther. Now the Panthers will try to make it an opportunity of their own. Lauren Wood is on that far side working against Breton, and she will kick it out of play. Throw in for the Panthers. And it's intercepted by a Raven. Breton now finds Grace Martin. Bautista in heavy pursuit is Otero. Breton kicks it over. Bridget Moore. Now the Ravens can advance upfield a little bit. A really nice pass to Pierce, but Storr will be there to kick it over to Sinkler. Sinkler boots it. Good touch, Pena Eklund. Ravens maintain possession for now. Bautista kicks it over to Crespo far side. She'll try to pass it middle of the field. Bautista, where the Ravens has it. Nice job there by Blasternes, trying to give Caitlin Bautista a run for her money. Hutunen trying to kick it middle, back to Hutunen. Bridget Moore kicks it away from everybody. Becca Storr will be the first one to be there. She'll keep it within play. Nice save there. Mia Otero Batunin got a leg on it. Grace Martin trying to find Crespo. That one's kicked away. Rebecca Storrs been where the ball is all night long near the Panthers goal. Machadi will be there to chase it down. Now she'll have the opportunity to throw it in.
A great play by Grace Martin on that last possession, able to keep it in the Ravens' favor. And the Panthers were trying to clear that one out, but Martin says no. And again, being physical to fight for the ball and keep your possession.
Houtanen skips it over everybody. Now Sinkler the opportunity to boot it away. Looking up midfield, there's Guerrer. Being chased down by some Ravens. Guerrer takes a fall. Ball's still in play. Pierce tried to get it over the arms of Sinkler, but she does a great job keeping it within the area. Ravens still in heavy pursuit. Price trying to cut it off, gets it to Breton. Has Pena Eklund midfield. She'll take that opportunity. Eklund skips over to Breton once again. Breton now charge upfield. Nice pass over to Moore. Ravens have it. It's being chased down. Goes over to Sophia Posner. And she'll do a good job kicking it away, but Eklund will be there to boot, and she will boot it over to the Ravens bench. Posner to throw in. She'll give it over to Storr on the back line. Pierce tried to take it away, but Storr will get it over to Otero. Now to be Lauren Wood in pursuit. Lauren Wood flashing a lot of speed. Kicks it over to Otero. Now to be Posner. Lauren Wood trying to bring it upfield. A nice move by Lauren Wood. Gets through two bodies. A Raven there to stop it with her body. The Ravens will ultimately be able to clear it away. I believe that was Lindsay Price who was able to get down and stop the kick from going to LaCroix's way. Still an opportunity here, though, for the Panthers.
Just what a defensive stand here from the Ravens. Again, Lauren Wood really doing a good job of creating the openings and getting her offense ready to go downfield. And then you mentioned it, Price getting in the box, getting down, making that stop, and forcing the Panthers to retreat.
So here's a corner opportunity for the Panthers. It'll be Mia Otero with the corner opportunity. Their first corner opportunity of the game. Here it is. That one headed up and through the uprights.
And again, good defense from the Ravens, really just shutting down any clean look at a header.
So McKenna McGuire checks in for Claudia Pierce for the time being for the Ravens. McGuire, 3 goals this season, one of them against Bridgeport in their last game in which they resulted in a tie. Eklund over to Breton. Back to Eklund. Now Bridget Moore kicks it midfield. It's stopped by Oxley. A nice labor by Blasternes. Blasternes gets the ball once again. Far side. An opportunity once again. Kicked away. was Bachotti who had the opportunity.
For the Panthers, number 12, Izzy Bramidge.
Here's Izzy Bramidge, a Massachusetts native playing for the Florida Tech Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers have a few New England natives here, so for them it's not too bad that the temperature's starting to drop.
Kenna McGuire tried to stop it from going to the leg of Sinkler, but Sinkler kicks it away anyway. Nice little boot there by Lindsey Price. Forces it back over to the Panthers defensive line. Rebecca Storr has it. Looking for her options. It will be Restrepo. Upfield, Bromage tries to get it over. It's stopped by Ravens midfield unit. Hootinen kicks it back over to Breton. Far side, Price. Now it'll be Eklund who will charge upfield with it. Boots it over. Rebecca Storr in pursuit of that ball, and that one will go out on the Ravens. Posner to throw in. Like we said, not too many shots on goal here as over 30 minutes have expired here in half number one. Still no score on the board. Posner to throw in. Will be Bromage. Be kicked out of play by Bromage. Now Ravens will have a throw-in opportunity.
Now entering the game.
Ravens bringing in some
4,
more offensive help.
Number 15, Molly Callahan, and number 20, Jenna Delgado.
So it'll be Jenna Delgado to just check in for the Ravens. She'll throw it in. Hootinen will kick it right back out of play. Booted by Rebecca Storr. Bautista first to put any touch on it. Now Hootinen with a nice touch. Bautista will head it out of play. Posner throws in. It's mishandled there by Lauren Wood. Delgado throws it in. Rebecca Storr will head it out. Another opportunity right back to Jenna Delgado. 10 minutes to go in half number one. Kicked up and kicked out of play by Molly Callahan.
This possession here just really sums up what this game has been, just fighting for every inch of the field.
Bautista ultimately gets it on the ground back midfield, but the Panthers will be in the area. There to cut it off, Bautista. And now Lindsey Price kicks it away. Here's an opportunity for Bachotti before it's taken away by Price, and now will be a throw in far side for the Panthers. Bachotti with the throw in. Passes it over to nobody, so it'll go back to the Ravens defensive line. Breton being chased, but ultimately cut off by the Ravens. Now Eklund with a huge opportunity to boot. Goes right into the head of, looks like Bachotti on the far side once again. Ravens throw in. Ravens maintain possession. Eklund midfield. She'll charge up with it. Goes to Delgado. Now over there. Kenzie Sheen going over to Eklund. Looking for the opportunity. Here's Conroy. Or excuse me, Michaela Horton, not Conroy. Now to be an opportunity. Kicked up and away by Rebecca Storr. Hootinen had the shot on goal. And Rebecca Storr continues to play some really good defense against the Ravens.
That was just a really good save by Sinkler, just kicking that one up and out of play. And then great look to find Hooten by Horton. Horton's had a fantastic season so far from the Ravens, just doing a really good job of finding openings, making those passes, and creating opportunities just like that one.
The Ravens will look to dribble it up. Forces two Panthers back, but will ultimately be brought in as a corner. The ball is kicked away by Oxley. It'll maintain Ravens ball.
Now enter the game for the Panthers, number 15, Nalani Flores. And for the Ravens, number 14, Maddie Fitzgerald.
A couple more substitutions. Fitzgerald comes in for the Ravens. Bautista checks out. Guerra checks out on their side for Nalani Flores. Throw in by the Ravens. Stopped by the Panthers for now. They will kick it upfield. It's intercepted by a Raven, Molly Callahan. Now it'll be Lindsey Price, far side. Oxley now has it before it's stolen away by Hootenen. Nice pass over. It's broken away. The Ravens maintain it. Going over to Delgado. Tries to float it up. Pass opportunity for the Ravens before Sinkler has to come out of net. They want something to be called on the Panthers' defensive line. It looked like Michaela Horton went down pretty hard over by the net. Nice slide play by Lindsey Price. Keeps it for the Ravens. Ravens have been dominating possession these last 10 minutes. Now Delgado an opportunity. Looking for the setup of McGuire. She's being chased down. Rebecca Storr. But McGuire had a little bit of room to work with before Storr took back possession. Now McGuire forces Lauren Wood over there as Storr got knocked down. Eklund with some contact. The Ravens get it stolen away by Oxley, but Hootenen is there to grab it once again. The Ravens crowd active.
Yeah, crowd getting lively here with each and every chance that the Ravens get, but they're really getting lively with how physical they've played and being able to take the possession away from this Panthers team.
Sheen with the ball right now for the Ravens. Hootenen kicks it over, but it's immediately taken away by Bacciati. Great body to get in front of it for the Ravens and Michaela Horton, but that one will trickle on over to Sinkler. Just under 5 to play in the first half. Forces a pass over to the far side, and Posner was not able to maintain it. Sheen with some heavy pressure, chasing down Sinkler before she booted it. McGuire keeping the ball away from Oxley. Delgado receives it before it got chipped off by Westernes. Now it's Eklund upfield. Rebecca Storr immediately there to bring it down. Molly Callahan trying to chase Bacciati. Bacciati gets around a couple Ravens. Now she'll try to work upfield, but Pena Eklund is there to take it away. Looking far side, Raven will maintain possession. But right there is Restrepo, to take it away, and there'll be a foul against the Ravens, it appears.
Yeah, and the crowd doesn't like that one. To me, there wasn't really too much there. With how physical the Ravens have been playing today, they've been letting it go. That one just seemed like a little softer of a call compared to ones they could have made earlier in this game.
Sinkler kicks it away, far side. Hooten was called for the foul. 3 minutes left to go here under a beautiful Ringe skyline. No score yet by either side. Panthers maintain possession for now. Posner, near side. Looking to set up an opportunity. Kicks it over to Bromage. Now it'll be Flores. Going to Oxley, Lauren Wood. Had the breakaway opportunity, but Raven was there to defend it over toward the middle. Looking for Michaela Horton. Trapped away by Bacciati, far side. Clock continues to wind down. Nora Oldmark will come in.
For the Panthers, number 7, Nora Oldmark.
That'll ultimately get, Blasternes off the field. Chotty throws in. Ravens there to kick it away. Ultimately be blown by the whistle. It'll be back over to the Panthers ball. Free kick opportunity as the whistle was blown. Rebecca Storr be the one to boot it. Only 90 seconds left in this first half. Free kick, Storr in the area of the Ravens before Breton is able to head it down. Ravens gonna try to make the most of this last minute in the first half. Kicks it over, far side. It's chased down by Restrepo. Ball positioned to midfield for now. Thrown in, Hooten. Hooten chips it over. Oxley with the ball now for the Panthers. It'll be Panthers throw in for now, 30 seconds to go. Clock winding, Restrepo kicks it over, Rebecca Storr. Restrepo.
10,
Kicks it over to Storr.
9, 8,
Final countdown
7,
from 10 beginning.
6, 5,
Breton
4,
there to boot.
3, 2,
Ravens will just play keep
1.
away for now, and that'll sound the buzzer for the first half.
After the first half, the score is tied 0-0 here at Sodexo Field.
A lot of changing of possessions on either side. Ultimately, each team has 4 shots on goal, 4 shots total. Florida Tech 2 shots on goal. Ravens got 1 yellow card, 4 fouls. As for Florida Tech, they got 0 fouls, 0 yellow cards. Couple offsides called for Florida Tech, but that's about it. Not much to write home about in that first half. Just a battle of possession, a battle of defensive prowess on both sides. Each back line held up really well, and specifically for Florida Tech, Rebecca Storr was in the way a lot of the time, but Restrepo was there to follow as well.
Yeah, just a really hard-fought first half from both sides. But what really impressed me from the Ravens was their physicality defensively. They just did a great job of fighting for the possession, really showing that the Panthers, that this is their field. You're going to have to earn this win on the road if you want to get through us.
Absolutely, and the crowd definitely likes the intense moments between both sides. LaCroix tested on net twice, had a couple of saves. As for the Ravens, that defensive line did really well. Eklund and Breton teamed up very well. Lindsay Price on that far side able to hold things down so that LaCroix has to face as little opportunities as possible.
Yeah, that back line did really good too, and I really was impressed with Pinya Eklund. She did a really good job of making good moves, creating that separation, and really just fooling the strikers of Florida Tech and moving up the field and being able to create great passes for her Ravens offense.
All right, well, that'll do it for now. First half coverage. No score here at Sodexo Field in a top 25 matchup between the Florida Tech Panthers and the Franklin Pierce University Ravens. We'll be right back here on FloCollege in the NE10 now.
I try to embrace the process.
You have to embrace where you are.
Embracing each other.
The competitive nature of this conference.
I think you need to embrace the pressure.
Pressure is a privilege. Billie Jean King, tennis player.
You have to embrace the fact that you have to make the time work.
I think you have to embrace the uphill battle of it.
The hard work and the grit, you have to have that, but like the memories that you build as a student athlete, if you embrace the hard, then the good is just gonna come your way.
It's easy to work hard at something when it's fun to you.
You've got to embrace all of it.
We want to embrace change.
Don't let change scare you off.
It's really about embracing who you become.
The relationships we get to build and how those can transform us.
You don't grow as a person if you don't step outside of your comfort zone. You need to embrace the opportunities to be more than.
You have to embrace that you are like a whole human.
You'll have an opportunity to get it all done.
You have to really embrace being a student athlete.
You have to embrace all that comes with college athletics.
2. Community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Welcome back here to some halftime coverage here of some Division II women's soccer here on the Ravens Sports Network on the NE10 Now and FloCollege. I'm Don Montoya alongside Joe McLaughlin. A very entertaining first half, Joe, where we saw not too many shots on goal from either side, 4 shots on either side. 2 shots on goal, though, for the Florida Tech Panthers, one by Rio Nawamura and the other one by Mia Taro. But they got a couple looks, and LaCroix was able to save both of them. So definitely a battle of back-and-forth possessions here, despite how hard the Ravens have been coming at them in terms of the physicality.
Yeah, you mentioned it. This is exactly what we really expected from a matchup like this. 2 teams that are prideful in their defensive abilities, and they just have done such a great job. But what I've been really impressed with, I said it before we went on break, was the Ravens' physicality going into this. I really like what I've seen from players like Pena Eklund, from Olivia Crespo offensively, Grace Martin doing a great job of being in the middle of that field fighting for that possession. But you talk about on the Florida Tech side of things, Lauren Wood is showing why she's the leading goal scorer. She's done a great job of taking multiple Ravens on and really pushing the ball deep, so that way the Panthers have a really good opportunity to get a shot on.
Absolutely, and the Ravens side saw 4 shots total. 3 of them were by Jenny Hootinen, who has done a great job at midfield alongside Caitlin Bautista and Grace Martin, like you said, in terms of winning those possession battles for the Ravens. And what we've seen tonight has been 2 really stout defensive lines. The Ravens did a great job boasting Breton, Eklund, Bridget Moore, and then Lindsay Price on that far side, maintaining that combo of 4 and then 4-3. The 4-3-4 did a great job at getting the ball away from the Panthers' main players. Lauren Wood has shown that she's faster than a lot of Ravens tonight, and Nawa Nara has done a great job as well, being there, has a shot on goal already as well. And for the Panthers, it's been a lot of Rebecca Storer. We've seen a lot of the defense up at the net. She's been able to kick a lot of balls away from the Ravens, and she's done a really good job. A lot of those highlights have gone to her in that first half.
Yeah, she scored that goal against St. Leo in their last match, but we're really starting to see a lot of her defensive capabilities, like you say, and it's really been tough for the Ravens to get through that back line of the Panthers. They've had to really earn every inch of ground that they've made. It's going to be really interesting going into the second half to see who kind of breaks first. It's almost becoming this war of attrition, and the winner will be determined by who breaks first.
Absolutely. War of attrition it sure is, and we'll see what happens between these 2 ranked teams in the second half. Stick around. In a few minutes. We'll join you for our second half coverage between the Florida Tech Panthers and the Franklin Pierce University Ravens. Joe McLaughlin and Don Montoya will be right back on the NE10 Now and FloCollege. Welcome back here to Division II Women's College Soccer between the Florida Tech Panthers and the Franklin Pierce University Ravens. Second half just under 90 seconds away from getting going here between these two top 25 teams. Definitely an interesting battle. The Ravens scheduled this matchup at Sodexo, knowing that they were going to play a really good opponent in Florida Tech, knowing they went to the NCAAs last year, fell in the second round. So it's Coach Matt Johnson looking for those tough matchups within season to see how the Ravens fare.
Yeah, and so far it's really delivered, Don. Just this matchup, from both sides, we've seen that physical fight for the possession. But now we're getting to the second half. We talked about in that halftime show it being a war of attrition. Who's going to break first here and give up that big play? We've seen flashes of both of these offenses get opportunities, but we're going to really see in the second half who actually could be the one to put it in the back of the net. And I know I sound like a broken record bringing up the weather every single time, but it is now nightfall here in Ringe, in Melbourne, Florida, where Florida Tech is. It's 80 degrees. It's a beautiful night out, but here in Ringe, it's just 60. So a whole 20 degrees colder than the Panthers are used to playing in, so that could play a factor here in the second half.
Absolutely, and they're thankful too. Usually you don't see 60s at nightfall much in the opening days of October, but weather's been staying relatively warm here in the Ringe area for this New England time of year. Ravens starters just keeping their toes ready, toes warm, doing some sprints on the far side. Of course, LaCroix 2 save opportunities has converted on both, and the only really separation in stats is the fact that the Ravens have committed 4 fouls. There was a yellow card issued against the Ravens for that hit earlier against Lauren Wood. But the Ravens have done a great job letting the possession go in their way despite the amount of fouls that they've committed.
Yeah, and that's for the Ravens giving up the foul. We saw the yellow card from LaCroix as well early on in that first half. I mean, it's part of this physical play for the Ravens. Obviously, you can't go too overboard with it because you'll end up costing yourselves in the long run. But for the most part, I think they've done a good job of balancing that line, being physical enough to get your message across, know that it's going to be hard for the Panthers to get past you and keep a possession, but they've also been disciplined as well. And I expect that to continue here in this second half, but we'll see how the Panthers adjust to it as the second half goes on.
Absolutely. The Ravens are ready to rock. The Panthers will still remain in a huddle for the time being before the ball gets dropped midfield. Each team 4 shots. However, the Panthers 2 shots on goal. Bachaji was the one to deliver a couple shots very close to net. One on the free kick, but she sailed that one. She also let this corner sail away from the Panthers as well. And that one will be booted over to the Panthers side. They will immediately be throwing in. Will be the Panthers on the far side. Bachaji with the ball. That one will be cut off by the head of Pena Eklund. Bridget Moore, far side. Boots it away. But there's Rebecca Storr to immediately take that one over as the Raven will kick it out of play. Here's the throw in by the Panthers. Cut off. It'll be brought over to the Ravens defensive side. Bautista in the middle. Sheen tries to kick it over. Hatunin. The Ravens trying to find a breakaway opportunity early here in the second half. Kicks it over far side. Crespo is there. That one is deflected off the body of Bachaji. Huinen will kick it back over. Crespo will try it again to find a Raven. But Bachaji continues to give her some trouble. And that one sails out of play.
That was just a good opportunity on the lead pass from Crespo. Just too much on it. And that allowed the Panthers defense to come in and really set themselves up.
So now it'll be a corner opportunity for the Ravens. Nobody there to greet Breton in the corner. Kicks it in, but it's immediately taken away by the Panthers. Kicks it up midfield, but Otero missed the ball there. Restrepo kicks it over to Sinkler. In hot pursuit is a Raven. It'll force Sinkler to kick it out of there. Claudia Pierce does a great job pressuring the goalie over onto the Panthers side.
This is what Claudia Pierce brings to the table. Again, All-American last year. Just does such a good job of using her speed to really put pressure on the defense of the Panthers there. And like you said, right against the goalkeeper, trying to take that one away and get a goal for the Ravens.
Hatun in midfield finds Martin. Far side. Immediately stopped by Storr. Middle of the field. There was Breton. Now it'll be Crespo. She falls to the ground. Nothing there as the Panthers will kick it over to the Ravens side. Pena Eklund kicks it over to LaCroix. That one brought to Breton. Kicks it over Huitinen. Now Bridget Moore tries to find Raven far side. Great job keeping it in play, and it will be a Panther to kick it out last. Throw in by the Ravens. Kicking it back over. Tried to heave a shot from far away, but goes left of the goal. Sinkler is there. Storr will kick it over. Middle of the field, it'll be a battle. Over to the Ravens side. Now kicking it over is Guerrer, over to Bacciati. Kicks it over, stopped by Breton. Now it'll be Olivia Crespo before Bacciati kicks off her own player, and now Amura. And Mia Otero will be the one to kick it away. Be LaCroix's ball in net. And she'll just swipe it over to Breton. Here's Eklund. Being chased by Otero. Goes back over to Breton. Breton has the boot. Raven's going to find an opportunity. Here's Huitinen. Or excuse me, Claudia Pierce. Shot on goal, and that one's in for the Ravens. Claudia Pierce with the breakaway, and the Ravens strike first as just over 5 minutes expire in half number one.
Wow, that developed so quickly. Just the Ravens getting a great pass and a great lead for Pierce. And again, we talked about just moments ago, utilizing her speed, pushing pressure on the defense, and she does a great job, makes a great move, and just buries it in the back of the net. That's a huge goal for Pierce.
Goal for the Ravens.
Great kick by Breton, too, to set up Pierce with the breakaway. Makes the move to make one defender miss, and then she had a wide open shot to the left side of the goal. And the Ravens will be the first to crack through the Panthers' defensive line. That'll be Pachaji for the Panthers with the ball. Kicks it over. It's stopped by the body of Breton. Bridget Moore kicks it away. Once again, Bridget Moore there to stop the ball. Kicks it out of the Sodexo area vicinity.
For Pierce, that's her third goal of the season, and we talked about in the pregame, only coming into this match with 2 goals on the season. You know, a little lower numbers than we're expecting to see from a former All-American, but she led the team in shots, 34 coming into this one. That was her 35th shot, and what a shot at that. Just a great goal. Gives the Ravens the advantage in a game that has been very defensive heavy. Each possession has been hard fought for, and really this place came alive as soon as that shot was in the back of the net.
Here's Breton, near side, boots it away. Claudia Pierce there to intercept. She falls to the ground. They were looking for some sort of foul call on Ava Guerrer, but now it'll be far side opportunity for Naganawa, or excuse me, Mia Otero. Tries the shot. Did not look bad, but wide left of that goal post.
And the coaching staff for the Ravens, headed by Matt Johnson, not happy with the missed call. Pierce looked like she got an elbow right to the face. You could see she was still recovering from that as the play was going on.
So it's interesting to see here what the call is by the officials.
They're going to give Florida Tech a corner here as it went out the back of the end zone off of Raven.
So Raven was the one who touched it last, and now it's an opportunity for the Panthers to strike right back. Here's the corner. Up in the air near the net. Trying to bring it down there was Guerrer. Now Storr will get over to Bachaji. The kick by Bachaji sails once again over the net. Just immediately wanted to get a shot on Ravens net after they took the lead, but once again it is a shot that will miss. Now it'll be Breton to charge upfield. She finds the boot. Grace Martin and Restrepo are there in the area. Restrepo the first to get there. Martin falls to the ground. Far side, Ravens trying to take control. Claudia Pierce. And the whistle will be blown as Claudia Pierce made some contact with Sarah Bachaji. Bachaji will get the free kick, and she immediately just boots it over to Restrepo. Now it's far side. Storr. Midfield. Modershed be the one to receive the throw-in. Now looking for Wood. Back to Modershed. Here's Ava Guerrer. Now Bachaji has some room to work with. Naganawa, midfield, gets across a few Ravens. Miscommunication. So ultimately be picked up by a Raven now. Breton will be there to boot. Cut off by Guerrer. Claudia Pierce in pursuit, and she's going to take the ball away. Tries to find somebody midfield, Grace Martin. Oxley was looking for some type of call. Now Claudia Pierce had an opportunity to cut between two defenders, and goes into the hands of Sinkler.
And again, Pierce creating opportunities. See here, it's take away the ball from the Panthers at midfield. Then the crossing pass over to Martin, who found Bautista. And then who else but Pierce on the leading pass almost had another shot on goal.
Crespo gets the boot from the Panthers defensive line, and she kicks it out of play. Now here's Bachaji to throw in. Just elapsed 10 minutes here in the second half. Hatunen fighting for the ball. Hatunen now gets it back, kicks it over. Lauren Wood was the first to get a foot on it, and now Modershed will kick it all the way over. LaCroix comes out of net. LaCroix just going to wait to survey her options. She will ultimately kick it over to Breton. A nice pass by Crespo, kicks it over to Price. Crespo will try to keep it in play, but it'll be a throw-in opportunity. Here's Bachaji. A great job by Hooten, able to intercept that one. Crespo kicks it before it goes out of play. Now it'll be Naganawa kicking it over to Otero. Here's an opportunity for Modershed now. Looking for the pass to Wood. Wood won't be able to get there in time, though.
That's a good idea, get it up to Wood. But she ran out of real estate there along the far side and just couldn't get the shot off in time.
Breton sees the boot. Almost touched the hand of Guerrer, but now Hooten with the ball finds Claudia Pierce. One-on-one opportunity, but it's Rebecca Storr and her really amazing defense to take away that opportunity. Be Oxley who kicks it up to Naganawa. She'll just try the shot on goal, and LaCroix is there to receive it. Keeps dumping it off to Breton. And she'll pass it over to Eklund. Eklund will kick it over Bridget Moore, far side. But Modershed able to intercept that one. Rebecca Storr over to Modershed once again. They'll play back and forth. Modershed tries to break away through the middle, but Hooten in there to immediately take it away. There's Blasternes in the area. Back line, Restrepo over to Bachachi. Kicks it over, Hooten takes it away again from Otero, and now it'll go to Crespo. Pierce gives it over. It's a fight for the ball at middle again. Claudia Pierce brings down Mia Otero. Otero looked for some type of foul call, did not get it. Bautista boots it away. Pena Eklund. Slides it over. Bridget Moore. That one will go out of play.
Looks like McGuire and Cahalan are setting up to go in here for the Ravens.
Callahan, McGuire, other scoring options here. Knowing the Ravens have the lead, they'll try to give some rest to the ones who need it most. Bachaji with the ball for the Panthers. Eklund kicks it way up in the air. That one's going toward the stands. Somehow goes right into the hands of Bachaji, who's there to throw it in.
Very convenient, right off the railing of the stands.
Bachaji surveys her options. Looking for Blasternes. Now it'll be Oxley who is being diced up by Bautista. Near side, Bachaji throwing in. Gives it to Blasternes. Now kicks it over to Guerra. Looking for some type of opportunity. It goes into the hands of LaCroix at net. LaCroix will just punt it away. Midfield. Oxley tries to keep it up in the air. A lot of Ravens swarming. But ultimately, it'll be Lauren Wood. Kicks it over to Oxley. Now, Panthers will maintain their possession. Modershed. Cutting up midfield. Almost taken away by Pierce. Pierce fighting with Guerra. Naganawa kicks it over to Eklund. And boots it to the legs of Bachaji. Eklund tried to make that initial cut, but Sheen was there to protect the ball. Almost a breakaway for the Panthers. Naganawa will try to keep it within the Panthers' possession, but Mackenzie Sheen, a great job winning the battle for the ball. Now Bautista takes it upfield. Bridget Moore, far side, kicks it over. Breton back to the middle of the field. Tunin will just kick it over, but Bachaji and Lauren Wood tried to get creative against Pena Eklund, but she ultimately falls to the ground. Now Eklund passes it before it's cut off by a nice header from Restrepo. Rebecca Storr over to Modershed on that far side. Ravens will get a third one ready to go in. It's Michaela Horton. Great kick over to Sinkler to Bachaji. Lauren Wood trying to win a 2-on-1 breakaway, but Breton does a great job at scooping it away. Trying to win the battle against Naganawa. Keeps it in play. Modershed, middle field, goes to Guerra. And a nice little boot there from Crespo. It gets away from Restrepo, who has to kick it over to Sinkler. So another missed opportunity for the Panthers. Bachaji, near side. Immediately cut off by the legs of Caitlin Bautista. Here's the throw in. Looking to find Otero. She kicks it up in the air. Wood has it before it's taken away. Ravens in the area. That one is going to get to the outside, though. And Oxley, she tries the shot on goal. It's saved by LaCroix. We've seen the Panthers just, if they have any type of look at the net, they'll just try to shoot it, keep LaCroix on her toes. As for the Ravens, they wait for that perfect setup opportunity to try to score. They found it with Claudia Pierce, but not really shooting on goal too much in this matchup against the Panthers. Grace Martin, some nice footwork there against Blasternes. Eklund kicks it midfield. Martin. Now Olivia Crespo has some room to work with. Kicks it right into the hands of Sinkler. Not a bad shot attempt at all, but gets right into the hands of Sinkler. Restrepo will kick it over to Bachaji, near side. Great boot there by Lindsay Price. Gets it back over to Claudia Pierce. Hootinen. 2-on-1. Hootinen. Nice footwork. Keeps it in. Gets it over to the back line in Breton. Now it'll be Bautista. Kicking it upfield is Bridget Moore. Hootinen. Gets it taken away, Restrepo, but here's Bautista. Blocked by the head of Wood, but now the Ravens will once again bring it over back line. Eklund to Bridget Moore. Finding the Raven upfield. Errant pass to fight midfield. The Ravens will ultimately get it back to, it was Samantha Breton. Now Crespo trying to get around the speed of Bachaji. She does, trying to find an open Raven midfield. Another shot opportunity. It's blocked by the body of Storr. Another shot opportunity by Pierce is dove on and saved by Sinkler.
Just great chances all around from the Ravens on that possession. And what I've really liked, it's really starting with this back line. I'm very, if you're the Ravens, you're very happy with how Pinya Eklund has been playing. She's able to really push the ball up forward. Hootonen, we saw, make a fantastic play to get it back to that back line, to start that rush. And again, Claudia Pierce getting involved offensively on the front to get the shot on.
Modershed working far side into the Raven zone. Modershed gets the ball back. Gets the pass off to Oxley, and now there'll be an opportunity where Otero gets it to Wood. Now it'll be Naganawa. Pinya Eklund able to keep it away once again.
And the Panthers trying to be patient.
Tough bounces. Really nice shot opportunity by the Panthers, but a couple nice heads keep it alive for the Ravens, and Naganawa misses an opportunity to give the ball back, but back line will take a shot for the Panthers. Rebecca Storr. Ultimately be a goalie kick.
And just Naganawa just missed a shot there, went underneath the leg. And a whiff like that can really come back to haunt you, especially when you have the momentum in the offensive side of the field.
Entering for the Panthers, number 2, Nina Santiago, and number 12, Izzy
Bromage and Santiago enter the game for the Panthers. The Ravens will bring 4 of their own in terms of the substitutions. Breton kicking upfield to Bautista. Collides a little bit with Gare, but just where the momentum of the bodies fell. Here's Rebecca Storr. Gets kicked back up to her. Now here's Sinkler out of net. Here's Bachaji. Trying to work around Horton. And a good job by Horton staying with the ball. Looking for McKenna McGuire now, and that one will be last touched by Restrepo. Lindsay Price will throw in.
Just a great move again by Michaela Horton here on the near sideline, creating that separation. Now creates the throw in. Just really, the Ravens have done a really good job in this half, creating that separation and winning those possession battles.
Some great footwork by Hooten, tries to set up midfield for the Ravens, but Mackenzie Sheen poached it a little bit too early. So I'm going to say it touched off a leg of the Panthers last. It's a corner kick opportunity, Ravens. Here's the kick. That one goes off the back of the net. Lindsay Price fails to deliver on that opportunity, but Ravens have 20 minutes to try to hold a 1-0 lead. Store going over to Restrepo, now over to Bachaji. Ravens in hot pursuit. Great takeaway by Sheen, but that one, or excuse me, not Sheen, Molly Callahan with that takeaway. Throwing in Bachaji. Lauren Wood will try to work around the Ravens defenders, but here's Callahan in the area again. Bautista working with some nice news. Now Price working over to Horton's side. McKenna McGuire going to try to cut it off, set up midfield. Works around the defense of the Panthers, looking midfield before it's kicked away. A solid boot by Oxley. The Ravens defensive line poaching in. Far side. This is Jenna Delgado kicking it over. Back to Breton. Breton trying to set up an opportunity for the Ravens. Too much on that kick. Goes into the hands of Sinkler.
Yeah, a good idea there from Breton. Try to get that lead pass off. Just too much on it from Martin, and Sinkler able to collect it. But I really like to see that. I really like what I'm seeing from this Ravens team. You know, we talked about in halftime that battle for the possession in the middle of the field, and really in this half the Ravens have been winning it. Not only because they're playing more physically, but also they're playing with better footwork and really doing a good job of creating separation and creating opportunities.
Yeah, Ravens have been creating some more shots for themselves. 4 shots on goal total, though, for the Panthers. They've all been saved by LaCroix. 2 shots on goal for the Ravens, and the one by Claudia Pierce was able to put them on the board. Now it'll be Bachaji, midfield, trying to work past Horton. She has some room to break away. A great stop there by the Ravens and Lindsay Price. Lindsay Price will sail it over to Restrepo. Here's Guerra. That one will roll past everybody. Bromage in pursuit of Lindsay Price. And Price will just kick it over to the sideline, force the Panthers to throw in. It'll be the Panthers to look for Bachaji here.
Re-entering for the Panthers, number 15, Nalani Flores, and number 20, Carolina Falcao.
So Falcao comes back in for the Panthers, so does Flores. Here's Bachaji going to Bromage. Bachaji gets it over to Flores. Hatunen fighting her along with McGuire. Horton gets it over to the foot of Lindsay Price. She's there to kick it out. To be Restrepo kicking over to Store. Intercepted by the foot of Hatunen. Mia Taro being chased down. Horton now. It'll be Bachaji. Back over to the Panthers D-line. Modershed now. Far side midfield. Back over to Restrepo. To Bachaji. That one's immediately intercepted by a Raven. Good kick over by Caitlin Bautista. Restrepo has to force it over to Sinkler. Ravens cleared out of their zone for now. Here's Bachaji. Gets halted by the body of Horton, and a great move there to push down Bachaji with her body so that the Ravens can maintain the possession. Price kicking it over. Callahan trying to find the breakaway, keeps it up in the air, trying to fight Store for the ball. Store eventually corrals it, but now it'll be Callahan once again It's blocked by the body of Restrepo. And some opportunities missed there by the Ravens. This kick, Bromwich trying to win the foot race, but LaCroix is going to catch LaCroix out of her zone.
Oh, no. Just a tough break. Just barely out of the zone.
So Bromwich does her job. She forces LaCroix out of her zone, and this can end up being a huge opportunity for the Florida Tech Panthers.
This is a huge opportunity, Dom, for LaCroix. You've been playing great all night, and just make one small mistake, and a huge chance if you're Florida Tech to even the score late in this match.
So one misstep by LaCroix, and it sets up the free kick opportunity for the Panthers. And the Ravens gonna have to sub LaCroix out of this one, and
Ryan Rosario coming in.
comes Ryan Rosario. The red card on Jess LaCroix will bring her out of the game. She had the foul earlier she had the foul earlier when she slide tackled Lauren Wood, and now LaCroix comes out of the game.
Ryan Rosario
has not missed a minute of play this season, and now Ryan Rosario, another freshman, this one from Holbrook, New York. Ryan Rosario, with 14:38 left in this game, is tested for the first time this season. And it comes for a free kick by the Panthers side. Modershed with the free kick opportunity. Rosario immediately brought in to face the biggest pressure of the night. Ravens defensive line going to do their best here to help out Rosario any way they can. The kick, wide right, and a missed opportunity once again by the Panthers. First red card all season by any Raven player, and it goes to the goalie, who's had quite the phenomenal start to her collegiate career.
It's not every day that that's the case, where the first red card of the season comes from the goalkeeper. And LaCroix, again, both of those fouls were not really intentional. You know, they were just playing physically defensive, trying to prevent a goal scored in the first half, and then just getting caught outside the box in the second. But for the Panthers, a missed opportunity on that free kick. Just shot it too far right against the new goalkeeper, making her first collegiate appearance. If you're the Panthers, you really want that one back.
Absolutely. That one just goes wide right to the goal entirely. So the Ravens has some breathing room for now. They kicked that one out of play. So throw in for the Panthers side. So an interesting turn of events where LaCroix gets caught up in a couple fouls, removed from the game simply because she stepped out of the zone. 13:40 left to go.
For the Panthers, number 5, Lauren Wood. Number 7, Nora Oldmark. Number 12, Izzy Vermont. And number 16, Eleanor Blasterness. Re-entering for the Ravens, number 9, Claudia Pierce. And number 10, Olivia Crespo.
So the Ravens will bring in their main two attackers on the wings, and Pierce and Crespo coming back into this one. Lauren Wood comes back in for the Panthers. Far side, a Panther did take a slip and fall. She's slow to get up, so looks like another free kick opportunity here for the Panthers, but we'll take a quick break for now here. Step aside. We'll step aside here on the NE10 now in FloCollege. Welcome back here on the Raven Sports Network on the NE10 now in FloCollege. Quick injury timeout for a Panther on the far side. It looks like they're going to bring the cart over for now. Give an update on who it is as soon as we get that opportunity, but under the night sky and under these dim lights, it's hard to see who went down on that play, but it was certainly a Panther with a full head of steam who just kind of slipped on the ground. Give the Ravens to corral themselves a little bit.
Yeah, going back to that free kick opportunity for the Panthers. Ryan Rosario comes in for the Ravens. Jess LaCroix getting the red card, has to leave the game after catching it outside of her box. And for the Panthers, just a missed opportunity going wide right. And that's kept this game at 1-0 in favor of the Ravens. Still, Claudia Pierce the difference in this match. And time waning here for the Panthers. But at the end of this play, I believe they have a free kick opportunity, which will give them another chance to get it.
So foul on the Ravens, and of course, with that full head of steam, it would be their quickest player, Lauren Wood, who went down.
Well, that's just really tough if you're the Panthers. That's your best goal scorer. She's fought hard all night, creating opportunities.
Here's the free kick by the Panthers, but Pena Eklund immediately boots it away. Rebecca Storr trying to juggle it over, and that's going to be a foul call on Rebecca Storr, who pushed Pierce into the ground. Free kick immediately negated. The Ravens will have one just very far into their zone. So they had Naganawa come off the bench for Lauren Wood for now, and the Ravens free kick will cross midfield, but a nice head there by Storr. Ravens trying to set up an opportunity. But Chaji goes to Mottershed now. She's near side. Naganawa immediately passes it into the legs of Pena Eklund. We booted away. Crespo will make Bachaji chase it down, and it'll ultimately be Sinkler to kick it right back to her. Mottershed, middle of the field. Naganawa kicks it far side. Far side, that was Nora Oldmark, and that one will ultimately be booted away, in which Sinkler has to grab it. Sinkler boots it to Bachaji. Now it'll be Modershed over to Naganawa. Takes one break for the Panthers to get back in this. Here's Modershed. She'll try shot on goal. It'll veer to the left of the post. So that shot opportunity squandered. Ryan Rosario, the fresh goalkeeper for the Ravens. And it looks like now Raven will be slow to get up for now. Lindsay Price is the one slow to get up. We'll see if the Ravens will take her off the field for now. They will. Gets up fairly quickly, though. Just means that Jenna Delgado just has to check back in.
A little shaken up there. And good for the Ravens that she was able to get to the sideline on her own. Price being a really crucial part of that back line.
So now it'll be Breton, boots it away after receiving that kick from Rosario. Lasby touched by the foot of a Raven, so throw in by the Panthers. Still a lot of fighting all over on that backside. The Ravens kick it away again, but time continues to wane. 10:30 left in this game. Ravens 1-0 lead off the Claudia Pierce breakaway goal. Continues to be a fight midfield. Now the Ravens will be the ones throwing in. Trying to get it over back side or front side to Pierce. Here's Bachaji. Kicks it over to Modershed. It's around Bautista midfield. Cuts it up for Blasternes. Now it'll be Otero. Kicking over to Storr. Now they're going to go over to Bachaji. Back to Modershed. Otero. Back over to the midfielder. Modershed. The shot on goal, and it finds a way through. A beautiful shot by Elise Modershed, top right post. Took one opportunity, she saw it, and sniped it perfectly to tie this game up at 1.
And the Panthers were looking for that shot in the first half. They almost had it. But that was perfectly placed. And Rosario, there was no chance for her to get up there and make that save. Just a fantastic shot. And if you're the Ravens, just the breakdown defensively, leaving that lane open. And what a shot it was from quite far away. Ravens oh so close to coming out with a 1-0 victory, now tied at 1 with time ticking away.
What a shot by Modershed that was, and this changes everything in the late stages of this second half. Eklund to boot over to Modershed, fresh off the goal. That'll be Delgado to boot downfield. Ravens try to pressure, it gets away from Naganawa. Now Modershed kicks it over back line. It's Rebecca Storr. Now 8:48 left in this one. 1-1 all between two top 25 teams in Division II women's soccer. Ravens had possession for a while, but the Panthers have done a great job keeping it within the Ravens zone. Watershed trying to break through the defense once again, but it's kicked away by the Ravens. Throws it into Naganawa. This game is testing Ryan Rosario for the first time in net for the Ravens after the red card to LaCroix. Not really much she could do with that shot by Watershed, however. Be the Ravens to throw in. Time winds down. Ravens will substitute in McKenna McGuire for Caitlin Bautista. Delgado downfield, throws it over to Bachaji. This one will go back and forth through the air. Hatunen able to kick it away, finds Pierce near side. Claudia Pierce trying to break away, but that one goes back to the back line. Now it'll be Sinkler. Kicked away over to Watershed by Blasternes. Middle of the field, it's Otero, but Jenna Delgado immediately there to greet. Claudia Pierce kicks it upfield. Nobody in the area. That'll just roll on over to the Panthers side. Less than 7 minutes to go here in a 1-1 tie.
Entering for the Panthers, number 5, Lauren Wood.
Lauren Wood checking back in for the Panthers. That's a great sign if you're a Florida Tech.
Number 5, Grace Martin.
And the Ravens will counter with Grace Martin. Claudia Pierce will take a seat for now. It'll be Watershed now over to the near side. Cut off Delgado. Middle of field. It'll be Storr to take it with a full head of steam. Delgado with a really nice boot away. Sinkler will just throw it over to Watershed. Watershed will be able to throw it in. Nice touch by Grace Martin. Bachaji over to Storr. Now it'll be Oldmark to try to give the opportunity to the Panthers. But a great job by the Ravens defensive line back there to force it away.
Does create a corner here, though, for the Panthers.
Naganawa will come in for the corner. There's a corner opportunity here for the Panthers, who just tied this thing up just around 5 minutes ago. Naganawa. The ball is kicked away by the Ravens. Back line. There's the shot attempt. It's headed away by Breton, and Breton will get it over. Panthers trying to find a breakaway. Wood. That shot way to the right of the net.
And the Panthers with a lot of momentum from that goal. They've been getting the opportunities, but credit to the Ravens' defensive line just making it so difficult to get a clean shot off.
They'll have Breton boot it. And it'll go toward the Ravens. Some contact over there that'll give the Ravens a free kick. Could be an opportunity for the Ravens. The free kick will sail off the head of Restrepo. Now Delgado keeps on going back and forth. Watershed trying to steer it away. Old Mark will boot it. Delgado to chase it down. Time winds down, less than 3:30 to go. Here's Rebecca Storr. Now to go Old Mark back over to Storr. Bachaji. Trying to find Wood, middle of the field. Now going to Watershed. Great work there by Pena Eklund to kick it away, and she will send the boot away. Great play by Eklund to get it out of the Ravens' territory. Panthers keep on firing, though.
The Ravens continue to make stands. Like you said, the Panthers really are doing a good job of just keeping on the pressure as time winds down.
Bachaji will kick it over to Wood. Wood shot. Goes over the net. In comes Michaela Horton over Grace Martin.
Re-entering for the Ravens, number 4, Michaela Horton.
The boot by Breton. Horton trying to fight Watershed for the ball. 2 minutes to go. Horton with Naganawa. Gets it over to Storr. Now it'll be Watershed who will receive the throw in over to Naganawa. Trying to set up an open look. Ravens get it out. Michaela Horton fighting for the ball. It'll be called a foul on Naganawa. Another free kick for the Ravens. Time winds down in the second half of regulation. 1:15 to go.
The emphasis on the Ravens sideline. Take your time. Really measure where that shot's going to go and look for the passes.
1 minute remaining in the game. 1 minute.
A minute and counting. Bachaji kicking it over to Watershed. Kicks it back over to Blasternes. Old Mark. Shot chipped away. Now it's Jenna Delgado. Hooten and upfield. Boots it away. Less than 30 to go. Storr tries to heave it downfield. Otero gives it over to Ryan Rosario, who dives on the ball. Not going to be much time for an opportunity
10,
for the Ravens.
9, 8, 7.
Ravens just want to force this to OT.
5, 4, 3.
It's kicked up in the air.
1.
And that'll do it for the second half. The Ravens opened up the first 5 minutes.
Ravens 1, Panthers 1.
Yeah, for this match to end in a draw, the Ravens did a really good job from start to finish, John. just really physical. Did a really good job of creating the opportunities. Just that one shot at the end there. I mean, you couldn't have shot it any better. Just unfortunate for the Ravens. Again, it was just a really good